This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Scent.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Ready to Love, Season 6, the second part of the reunion show.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's talk Jamala, Randall, Tranika, Kayla, that whole love square triangle type thing.
That's a lot of names.
That's a lot.
And surely no drama can exist from all those people, could it?
It's a bad woman to man ratio.
Yeah.
I feel like Jamala gets embarrassed during both parts, part 1 and part 2 of the reunion. And that's why it ends up the way that it does.
I agree.
Randall screwed this up. Well, maybe he didn't. Maybe exactly what he wanted to have happen. Maybe he didn't want to be with anybody. But this was a mess.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed for Jamala. I felt like during the show, Randall kind of did put it out there that Jamala was his biggest connection.
Yeah.
But you hear him, and he had an interview, I think, with Christal XO. I'm not sure. You guys look for that, or we'll probably link it in the description if we find it.
Yeah.
But where he really kind of gave it to production in terms of saying, they made me pursue these other connections. You know, he took a lot of the weight off of his own shoulders to say, you know, well, we were encouraged to do this. We were encouraged to date other people. They weren't editing out things where I was being more truthful with Kayla, etc. And for him, it was more all about Jamala. And I'm like, I almost would believe that, except we had Mike.
Yeah.
For an example
of
somebody who didn't do that and also made it all the way to the end of the process. So I don't feel like it had to go that way. I do feel like there's editing involved because they obviously can't put everything on. But if you weren't doing certain things, like I always say, then it wouldn't be there to capture.
True that. First of all, let me say, I guess pimping ain't easy. You know, because he had such a hard time.
He ain't no good pimp.
He had a hard time trying to manage all of these ladies, all of these personalities. And he obviously didn't do a good job of it. But I think also his excuses, I'm just going to say they're flat out excuses. I mean, because you're playing a game, it's a process and all of that. And he even kind of put some of that on Tommy during the show. Yeah. Basically saying, Tommy, you told us,
Yeah.
But hey, man, you ain't got it.
Yeah. Everybody's getting hurt in the process, though. Yeah. And no one more so than Jamala, because she was the one who felt like she was in first place.
Yeah.
But anytime you got to call yourself in a place, it's a problem.
Yes.
You should be the only place.
That is true.
So
that is true, but not in the world of Ready to Love.
Yeah, it's like almost guaranteed to be messy.
That's the way it's designed.
Yeah.
It's designed to be messy. So I do kind of go back and forth. Maybe they should call it Ready to Love, Maybe they should call it something else, but...
Single and Ready to Mingle, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like
Drama
that.
for your mama. Something, I don't know. But something other than that. I don't know.
So the big thing for me, I don't want to go through a full recap of the show or anything, but the big thing for me is Randall had multiple opportunities to clarify what was going on with Jamala, for her sake.
Yeah.
And the reason that she ended up embarrassed is because he never did that. He never did it in a way to cut in her favor. Mm-hmm. He kind of sprung it on her in the first episode of the reunion that they were seeing other people. Mm-hmm. She was like, I guess we're seeing other people.
Yeah.
He always took the lead when Tommy asked, what are you guys doing now? And said, we're figuring it out, which is a non-answer. That doesn't make any sense. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yes.
And everybody knows what that means, which is nothing.
Yes.
So that means he's dating around.
Exactly. When I hear men say, or even when I hear a woman repeat what a man says, we're figuring it out, or we're gonna see what happens. All of this very vague, different type of stuff. It's no wonder why women get hurt. I mean, because there's nothing
they're left to speculate and come up with their own realities. And it's almost like she had a revelation during however long it took them to film these 2 episodes of the reunion that, dang, this man really isn't for me.
No.
He didn't. Their body language was bad.
Yes.
He was all like kind of leaned away from her. He was rolling his eyes. She was trying to follow his lead still, even in this episode. When he said, Tommy asked, what are you guys doing right now? Randall says, we're figuring it out. He looks at Jamala, we're figuring it out. Dude, don't do that. Be like, oh, I just figured it out. Like, you told me everything I need to know.
Yeah.
Now, on the other couch, we got Tranika and Kayla sitting together. Kayla got on my nerves, y'all. I mean, let me know what you think about this. But she was all tearful and stuff about Katie and Sharice getting into it with each other. Why can't we do better as black women?
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't you not be a side piece? Like, how about we start with that? Like, you can't shame people for one set of behaviors that's shameful. But you're exercising a whole different set of behaviors that's shameful.
True that.
Cut that out.
True that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
that
it.
was trash. And then she was kind of aggressively speaking to Jamala. You're going to listen and you're going to deal with it, because she wanted to like explain to her, I guess, her position. Like, I have a position here too.
Yeah.
So it was crazy and wild to me for Tommy to then ask Randall, was he still dating other people? Not just period, but from the show.
Yes.
And yes, he's still dating other people. He's still gone out with Kayla. And Shanika. Then Shanika's like, okay, I bowed out of this thing. But Kayla seems like she's still open and actively dating him. Yeah, we're just seeing where things go.
Again, that we'll figure it out thing. I have a big issue with that from a man's standpoint, and every woman really should have an issue with that, because that just got you on a hook and you're not going anywhere with that. You in limbo. If a man is interested in you, he's going to let you know. If he sees a future with you, he's going to let you know. He's going to be communicating those type of things. And any type of wishy-washy man like that, let him go. Let him go figure it out on his own, because as the Bible says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, and that is how he proceeds. And you can see the unstableness with the whole thing, with the women involved with it.
I mean, it is, but I feel like, to be fair, women, we have to take the accountability here, right? Like you said, like, let him do that by himself, because a man is going to take what you give him.
True.
If you're available. And I don't know, I'm not going to, I am going to speculate. I'm lying. I feel like they're possibly sleeping with him.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to throw it at him, he going to take it. There's no two ways around that. So you're okay with him sleeping with you and Jamala, Kayla? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And that's nasty, and it's not self-respecting. And Randall gets to sit here and mainly be quiet. And I think that was my biggest issue with him, is that Tranika had the opportunity, because he was so quiet, to sit there and embarrass Jamala like she did.
Yeah.
Jamala and her were kind of having words. She was getting a little irritated. Tranika's getting a little irritated. And then Tranika drops this bomb. He don't even claim you outside of this,
Yeah.
The last thing as a woman that we want is for another woman to embarrass us about our so-called man.
Yeah.
No, that was horrible. And he didn't do anything about it.
No.
It's all like he was leaning front. He was like fading off, like that Homer Simpson meme.
He was getting closer and closer to Sharice.
Right. We know he don't want her.
But you're quite right. You're quite right. But throughout the process that they went through, if both of them were giving him sex, then I don't know what to say about that. But I
and
can
they
tell
still
you this.
are.
Yeah.
They're still doing it. That's what I think.
If that's the case, then I'm gonna tell you, when you're giving sex to a man like that, then all you're doing is creating a person who is dependent upon sex, but who is also emotionally unavailable to you. And you saw that.
Because he doesn't have to be. They're not demanding anything of him. He can just exist, and they're going to throw it at him.
Yeah.
He can just exist and not be committal, and say, we're figuring it out, and that's enough. Just these little bitty pieces of breadcrumb that he's giving is enough to keep you around.
Yes.
That's sad. That's a sad state to be in. That's what Kayla ought to be crying about.
Yeah.
She could don't worry about herself.
Well, I hopefully throughout that whole segment, and I hope she really did ponder, I need to get off of this Randall train because it's just going around in a circle and a circle and a circle, and I'm done with it. I hope she really came to that conclusion. You know, she didn't let him pull her back in or whatever.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. Here's what I think. I think Jamala got her feelings hurt. She said what she said at the end, which was, you know, he lost me and he lost me as a friend. I don't know. I'm hoping that she can stick to her guns on that. But if she walks away from that Kayla's just going to ooze on over and be like, hey.
She's going to get more of what Jamala got.
That's what she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
You were playing the side piece before. You might play the side piece again. But even if you move into the main piece, do you really want other side pieces standing in line getting ready to take your position?
Yeah.
This is foolish.
You know, but it's surprising to me because how Kayla presents, she presents as someone who is intelligent, who has a lot going on, high self-esteem. Why would you settle for
It happens all the time, though. It happens all the time. I don't know where that disconnect is with intelligent, successful, attractive Black women, honestly, and where their self-esteem falls by the wayside when it comes to men. I guess, and we could probably do a whole different video on this, but I mean, something with the shortage of men and something with all the pick-me's out there that's willing to screw up the dating pool and make men think that they're the prize. This is how you create a Justin. And we're going to talk about him in another video. I mean, Justice. Justice. That's how he got created. Because there's too many women that's willing to put themselves in these horrible, like, non-selected positions. Yes. Non-chased, non-pursued. They're the we're like, what are we doing?
Yes. I couldn't see it. I from a man looking at the woman whole thing, I could not be with someone who is so non-committal that he's not saying anything and he's not giving anything.
His body language is bad. He doesn't have to do a thing. Yeah. And as long as nobody holds his feet to the fire and makes him do a thing, he's not going to. He ain't got to be a pimp. He ain't no good pimp. When he have to start talking, he doesn't know what to do with his word. He couldn't even keep his jacket on. I mean, nothing was happening to him.
He did
if
come out that jacket.
If anybody put any type of pressure on him, he's going to fold.
Yeah.
The problem is they're taking all the pressure off of him and putting it on themselves.
Yeah, that is true. But you know what? Real quick, we saw throughout the whole process, he wasn't non-committal was the apex, but underneath it, he wouldn't say anything, and so he left them to their own devices to figure it out. And you can see what that happened. All of them kind of figured it out. They went along with the flow, figured it out, and you can see what they got.
Yeah, and he picked the one who applied the most pressure. That was Jamala.
And that was Jamala. That was it.
I hope that she sticks to it and she doesn't stay entangled with him because it's a mess. It is. But let us know what you guys think. Do you think Jamala's really done? I think she was pretty darn embarrassed. I hope that her family and friends are like, girl, no, leave him. I hope they help, and give that support. Yeah. But secondly, do you think Kayla is going to be satisfied with that just slide on in and try to be the main piece?
And she appears to be.
It seems like it.
She has no expectations, no boundaries, no nothing. And it's unfortunate, again, for how she presents. She presents like she has it all together.
She does. But I'm about to call her daddy.
No.
Because her daddy ain't going for that mess. No. I mean, and that's the thing. She has a really good example for her father. Yeah. And she's still falling for it. That's too bad. Yeah. All right, guys. Like I said, let us know what you all think. Drop those comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.